Hello, welcome in everybody. So we've been a little busy. Let me turn the music down just a tiny bit. As you can see by the outside of the stream, we have a pretty high kill count for this event. But let's finish up this event so I can farm it off stream. I've been told I'm pretty close to being done. After some time passed, to recap, I killed Edward Cullen. So we defeated Sancho last stream, and I think that's where we left off after a very lengthy cutscene. So after some time passed, next we must discuss the classification numbers. We've been assigning risk levels for distortions just as we have for abnormalities. The observation logs you have written for us were of great help, of course. Actually, you know what? I might just have the music from this play, and I'll pause my Spotify music. There's just no music here. Yeah, I guess so. My researchers struggled to parse the handwriting of certain sinners. However, but it was good data all the same. We once had a 3-hour debate over a letter. Heh. Even that bloody governess gave up on trying to fix... Oh, I missed that last part. Heathcliff grinned proudly and wiped the side of his nose. As you all must be aware, the current system of classification numbers has a rather significant oversight. Because abnormalities were creations from the former L Corp, our classification system had to be lifted whole from their system. However, the criteria by which the former L Corp measured the risk levels, that was the amount of their energy production. As a correlation of sorts, it was often the case that more aggressive abnormalities produce more energy, but their destructive capabilities were not a part of the criteria despite the correlation. That's why certain abnormalities were assigned relatively lower risk levels despite their potential to kill even multiple higher ranking employees. They were an energy company at the end of the day. It makes sense that their priority would be to measure the energy output. However, here, both abnormalities and distortions must be suppressed via direct confrontation. Thus, the former L Corp's classification system is rather incongruent with our purposes. I once heard someone say that we should be wary of people who drone on and on in the intro. Thus, it became necessary for us to reorganize the distortion's risk levels and classification codes. Wow, how interesting. So whose job is that going to be? I am rather taken aback by the naivety with which you asked me that question. Us. It's us. Sinners without the right to refuse, was it? Wait a sec. Aren't you just offloading your own work onto us? A privilege given to researchers. Oi, oi. Don't be so ignorant, yeah? This is all just to, in order to research the distortions, right? We gotta... Oh, God. Oh, the other way around, assistant. I thought since the text is small, it was going to be a lot of text for me to read, so that's why I said, oh, God. We've got to do research into distortions in order to solve them better. It's elementary shite. Hohenheim's really got you wrapped up around his finger, you know that? According to the LCD on-site investigative reasoning team leader, the progression of a distortion is much like that of a disease. The fate of an abnormality awaits the end of the distortion phenomenon, after all. When a distortion progresses into an abnormality, all pre-existing individuality is erased, replaced with the totality of an abnormality. Thus, it is impossible to bring back a distortion that is already transformed into an abnormality. It will no longer have the reversibility that they once had in the distortion phase. So, a distortion like that Time Ripper fella will eventually become an abnormality too, if left untouched. If you were referring to the subject HE7PI20-01, then yes. I don't know why I pronounced that dash and not the rest of them, but this is simply a prediction, of course, because that particular subject isn't contained here. I cannot say with absolute certainty that its progression into an abnormality will be observed. A correct assessment. Oh? Didn't Limbus Company collect the Time Ripper? We hoped we would, but T-Corp was very adamant about their claim over the entity, to the point where they refused to even sit at the negotiation table. I found their time-ripping ability quite fascinating, but sometimes I must know when to cut my losses, I suppose. Wait, so that He something is the new classification code format? Indeed, because it is difficult to identify and observe the origin and the shape of a distortion, we decided to forego that information and instead replace them with their sin affinities and the expected damage scale. Sin affinities, pi must refer to Pigretia, sloth. It appears that the classification now mimics the classification of the Pecatula. They do indeed follow the same thought process. If we're being technical here, I would say it mimics it. I wouldn't say it mimics it, but it would be more accurate to say that as the Pecatula are at once the origins of the distortion phenomenon and its byproducts, the affinities can be transferred one-to-one. What's the expected damage scale? Combat capability, I'm guessing. I remember them saying that the risk levels were determined based on the enkephalin production rates, which is not the most meaningful information to us who have to fight them directly. It was a tad inconvenient to put a nebulous idea like combat capabilities into a singular numerical scale of power. Certain entities have idiosyncrasies and variables that may take such a linear measure quite meaningless. So instead, we decided to measure the expected amount of damage that Limbus Company personnel might suffer should they engage in these entities in battle. I like that that's the scale. While this Time Ripper poses very little threat against the sinners due to your idiosyncrasies, the unique nature of their weapon means that they can immediately deal a nigh-fatal blow to anyone from the LCC department with a single strike. That is why this distortion was giving a rather high expected damage scale of 6 from a scale of 1 to 10. Please do note that this is not a perfect system, and these values are there only as references. Will this standard be applied to abnormalities as well? We have plans to do so, yes. Risk levels and expected damage scales will be coming before their classification codes. Speaking of which, I have something to show you all. What is it? What else other than the monolith? One with the highest potential values among Limbus Company's business. Thus, the development of transportation management and processing of the processing methodologies of the monolith is a glowing achievement indeed. The artifact, by its very nature, poses a great danger. I hesitate to embrace its use so willingly. A great danger? But when you say that we are beset by danger at all times, the arbitrariness in deciding how dangerous something is comes from the degree to which it poses a risk. As you must already know, the monolith here is a device that can force a distortion. It is scattered throughout the city, just like the Golden Bough, at first only in possession of the Fingers and the syndicates of the backstreets, to now being collected by companies both large and small and nameless like a plague. We also learned that they have become rather high priority targets for some wings out there. As luck would have it, we managed to begin our research expedition and collection of the monoliths much earlier than the others. Now we are already set at the stage in which we may partake in the processing and sales of the artifacts, expanding our business ventures. You could say that we narrowly avoided the very unsavory fate of having to tussle with the wings for the possession of the artifacts. Because we may have had to confront the wings directly were that the case. Asking out of pure curiosity here, what would happen if we were ever assigned a city threat level? Ishi, how about we don't ask questions we don't ever want to find out the answers to? I mean, what if we, due to some contractual shenanigans, end up going against the associations? I think it'd be a good thing to know ahead of time just in case. Seems like a question worth entertaining to me. Let's see, from Canard to Star of the City. I suppose your assignment would be somewhere between Urban Plague and Urban Nightmare. So, not SOC yet, are we? It almost sounds... Yeah, don't ask questions. It's like, literally just don't ask questions you don't want the answers to. It almost sounds as if you want to be given a threat level, It is true that upon first sight, due to your revival powers and the potential of the identity technology, may appear to pose a rather troublesome risk. However, you have a very clear and obvious weakness. What are you oohing about? You ask questions. Yeah. You do. You ask a lot of questions. Indeed, all of our advantages will be moot upon the manager's death. Hohenheim slowly turns around to look at me, prompting Faust and the other sinners to follow suit. What if we protected them, though? I am impressed by your optimism, given the kinds of enemies you have faced thus far. We don't even need to go so far back in time to discuss the incidents with the fixers Siegfried or Big Brother Ricardo I read from your reports. Should this third sinner suddenly seek to attack the manager with her full might, do you truly believe that the rest of you would be enough to protect them? I like that they mentioned Ricardo. I like Ricardo. No, the flow of this world is that the manager will be preserved, that no such thing may come to pass. That's enough, Hohenheim. Any further divulgence and Faust will open a disciplinary committee to discuss the consequences of your careless words. Not there yet, are we? Very well. Whichever is the case, you do have the potential to become a star of the city threat at some time in the future, but do remember that it would be best if you could avoid that unfortunate designation. And please don't forget that this is only true so long as you have Limbus Company's backing. All right. Oh. Wait, is it a dungeon? It has the dungeon symbol. I wasn't expecting it to be a dungeon. We are not taking that team in. So you do pierce stuff? Highest max HP deals more pierce damage to less HP. Problem is, I know that Gregor's gonna have the highest max HP, and he is all blunt damage. So maybe we'll stick with this one. What does he do? Highest speed inflicts nails. Okay, nails will help with the. It'll help with the bleed count stuff. Poise count. Also, the soundtrack to this update is bumping. I want to run him so I can get the extra 40%, but I cannot bench this guy. He's too good. I'm surprised no questions have been asked about the border around the game. We're almost done with the regular checkup. Finally, we have a chance for you to overcome an adversity based on what you have learned thus far, and for me to prove my hypothesis. What hypothesis is he talking about? No need to worry. My hypotheses have never been wrong most of the time. You didn't notice? I literally sent you a picture of it earlier. There's no way. This experiment is entirely of my own design and supervision. You saw the left and bottom. You didn't see all of it? That is probably the most. There's like close to 10 Mephistopheles the Hedgehog up there. And also, there's a really cursed, really cursed worm on a string. That's just buff. I think that's one of my favorites. Now we'll faithfully follow you. Why don't you like him? How can you not like buff worm on a string? And I will faithfully follow my own pure curiosities and instincts as a researcher. The worm, well, that's what these ones are. These ones are the worm on a string. Which, like, I know I'm colorblind. The thing said pink. This looks red to me. I think it's a lighting thing. Guys, I have a feeling we're not gonna like where this goes. It's definitely lighting. So you also think it's red, or do you think it's pink? Because my input doesn't really matter because I'm colorblind. Now, do you see this monolith here? Yep, I do. That's a monolith, all right. But don't you worry. My researchers will be the ones to activate the artifact. Activate the artifact? Not on you. Relax. I understand that none of you would be willing to willing participants to this experiment. Okay, so I was pretty much correct. Almost there. I swear, if you're gonna force us to distort, saying that we have no right to refuse or something, she should distort. Yeah, hang on, I can't let you do that, even as your assistant. Yes, but if you must, we are willing to send the weakest sinner among us for... forget I said that. That was foolish of me to say. Yeah, kiss ass. We look... Dante looks slightly in her direction. She fixed her axe real quick. I will be the subject of the experiment myself. Oh, no. You're going to distort yourself? Am I hearing you right? Aren't you curious to see what kind of distortion you'd end up becoming? I'm sure this is a question you have all entertained at least once. No, I ain't curious. You've already distorted. We've seen you do that. It ain't a very pleasant experience either. Stop gritting your teeth like that, assistant. It will have an adverse effect on your long-term dental health. Shut the hell up, dude. What if you just end up turning into a Pecatulum? You could end up becoming a Pecatulum, just another one of the fodder we slaughtered our way through the tests earlier. You're risking that? It is indeed a possibility. It would signify nothing more than my very own limitations. Just a mediocre shell. If such an incident comes to pass, these employees will transport me to a containment unit. We even made a bet on what kind of Pecatulum I would turn into. Dude, this guy is crazy. Like I know I had like my problems with him at first because of his name, because having a name Hohenheim as a person playing the person who's playing has watched Full Metal Alchemist, that's not a good look. Trying to move these guys around on my head. He bet on Goulet, I on Nvidia, and her on Pirigerte. Well, he's turning himself into a monster, pretty much. That's what he's about to do, for us to fight him. How could you? Think about it like this. If I were to become a Pecatula, it would be akin to losing at a game of chance. Of course, what counts as a loss may depend on what I, at the precise time, consider to be losing, but the mere fact of turning into a Pecatulum reaves me of any value to life. I'd say he was being too hard on himself, but that felt like too simple of an expression to describe this tone. It is some FMA kind of shit. Dude, his name is literally Hohenheim. Like, that's a character from FMA. That's why I had like this like internal reaction of, oh, I don't like his name. He got introduced, I was like, no, this guy's bad news. I already know it. The company would most likely attempt to transport me to a containment unit, but I disagree with that decision. I would like you to ask you to dispose of me on the spot. I am well aware that I'm not the kind of congenial person who earns others' favor at first meeting, if at all. I also don't believe that our brief relationship has been the most amicable kind. Yeah, because you're crazy. Therefore, I see little reason why you would hesitate to cut me down. I say get rid of him before he even touches the artifact. Yeah, badnews.exe. Of course, sinners with gentle hearts like this young Sinclair here may express certain distaste against this decision. But once I become a Pecatulum, it may as well meant that Hohenheim, the entity, has ceased to be. Oh, this guy. So I hope no unnecessary emotion like guilt clouds your judgment in killing the Pecatulum, a mere byproduct. But what if something unexpected happens? I feel like something unexpected is going to happen. We're talking about your life here. Don't you have any manuals with backup plans, or this is a very simple matter? Nothing more than a coin flip, heads or tails. I gotta respect the gamble. That's the one thing I gotta respect from this guy. It appears that you're still insisting on your absurd 50-50 theory. I am a researcher who wishes to humiliate the field of mathematical statistics, unlike the general lay of the academia. Dude, he's literally the centipede. That's him. Oh my god. Welcome in, everybody. Make America silly again. I agree. We need to make everything silly. We're not having a silly time because hello. Yeah, we're on a string. This is my kill count around the sides. Hello, Prism. Hello, Bevan. Welcome in, everybody. I appreciate the raid, Bijou. It means a lot. So to catch you guys up, everybody who is just joining, this guy's been like the researcher testing the combat capabilities of everybody, and he's about to pretty much turn himself into a monster, and all of us are gonna have to fight him. And it literally if anybody's watched Full Metal Alchemist, it feels like that, like some shit out of that, because his name is Hohenheim. Two, he's trying to just like do all this in the pursuit of self fulfillment. I believe there's a certain romanticism to research. It is much more exciting to run as many tests and gain as many samples as we can than to be stuck behind a desk, pouring day and night over books and paper, isn't it? Hohenheim is pulling a Hohenheim. Hello, Paya. And hello, Gamma. If it's tails, then you may dispose of me immediately. And I wish I could dispose of you right now, dude. You're being kind of an ass. And the employees here will take care of the rest. Don't forget to destroy the key inside that coat pocket and the files inside my cabinets, for example. I am having a good time. Extra silly? I mean, look at the border of my stream. We got friends like Buff Earthworm Jim. We've got King Jellyfish. We've got just a pyramid, and we got Edward Cullen. King Jelly. Yeah, we also got all the blue jellyfish over here. We got rocks with faces. This buff worm on a string. And literal bouquets of flowers. These are my kill counts for this update. I went through the VODs, pulled every single kill, and like matched them up to some random picture I found on the internet. Yes, we remember. Yeah, and this girl is just the moth. That's her. That's her. Too many Memphis, Tennessee. I was trying to control the population of Mephistopheles the Hedgehog. I think I did a pretty good job. Yes, we remember. If I were to successfully distort, we would be halfway to success. My name is Memphis, Tennessee. Oh, I should watch that on stream sometime. Snapcube Sonic fan dubs. Oh, they're so funny. For the first time, stupid idiot don't got feet. He doesn't have a nose either, I realized, either, on closer inspection. He has no nose. Somebody ran up to him and was just like, got your nose. Get back up there. Yeah. He goes, I have no mouth, yet I must scream. For the first time, I am feeling quite the envy for you all. I wish I could be a witness to my very own distortion. Huh. This guy is crazy. Like, full mad scientist. If you've been paying attention to my lectures, perhaps you could even come up with a classification code for my distortion too, going by the standards we have discussed earlier. Not that I have a very high expectation that you would, and he's being an ass to us. I've recently come to a realization that people nodding along to my words is not a signifier of comprehension, but instead an expression of societal niceties. Noseless, feetless, mouthless. He absolutely has no maidens. Nods. Then the manager here will open the entrance to my dungeon of the Fathoms. Oh gosh. That sounds raw. And you will progress through the mirror dungeon as you have always done when facing a distortion to reach into its deepest fathoms to face my distortion once again. Mephiles has no riz, absolutely. I wish you the best of luck on your suppression efforts. Hexus section. And once you've made it that far, it is likely that you will find me unconscious, or if luck would have it, conscious. I really hope he's unconscious. Unconscious? Are you sure this is safe? A degree of case-by-case variance is to be expected. It may take some time for a full recovery, but it will happen should you succeed. That reminds me. That's how this bamboo-hatted Kim was brought back as well. Bamboo-hatted Kim, he's recovered? He is safely contained within our facilities. Oh my god, they're literally having him as the next update. They worked the next update into the story. It seems that they're ready to activate the monolith. I am confident that I, even as a distortion, will be quite the exceptional specimen. Hang on, just like that? You're not a Pecatulum. Indeed, and I... Oh, I hate him. Oh, I hate the look of that. Ooh, I don't like that. I can still hear them. Yes, I remember. I still do. I know he'll be back, but gosh, this is pretty unnerving. Don't worry, we'll bring him back, no matter what. I don't want to bring him back. I just want to, like, can we just get rid of him? I don't like him. The manager says that we will bring him back no matter what. Sure sounds like a dependable sort, this manager of yours. Very well. Please take a look at this. Is this a note? Did he write us tips on how to do this or something? It's just the note just says, "Good luck, idiots." He says that all you have to do is read what's on the note in front of his distortion. Apparently it's some kind of a code. I don't think he'll hear anything but ticking noises from me. Can you read this, Mersault? It will be done as you commanded. Mersault nodded and then began to read the words from the note aloud. Lobotomy Corporation, 5 minutes, potentially, anticipation, right hand. The moment Mersault uttered them, the all too familiar portal began to appear around Hohenheim's distortion, as though they were a key to a door. Scattering shards of familiar yet alien sights appeared intermittently beyond the shimmering veil. Hohenheim had already entered the portal as we stood there gawking, but we could still hear his voice echoing through the laboratory. I suppose I'll be forced to share my past here, the past I never wanted to share, the past that no one cares to learn about. It is something I must endure for the sake of this experiment, however. I needn't expose every little detail of it. Why do I feel like they're gonna make me feel bad for this guy in his backstory? It's all in the past now anyway, is it? Is it just one floor? Okay, it's only one floor. Okay. We're at the starting point of the Dungeon of the Fathoms. We found ourselves in a room that appears to be a workshop of ego gears. If you have scored below 100% synchronization rate in the aptitude test, take only a single ego from here. An ominous warning sign greets us all, and the same words on repeat ceaselessly from the speaker. The sinners all go take a look, enticed by the sign telling us that we can pick up ego gears here, but what we find there are ego gifts. What? These ain't ego gears, these are them gifts or something, right? It appears that ego are manifest here in the shape of ego gifts. Can we just take them all? This is a dungeon of fathoms. As it differs from the usual mirror dungeons, it is highly advisable that its rules are followed. What should we do? I don't have any rupture or burn, so I'm gonna take the cleaning solution spray. Oh, illusory hunt. Oh, this thing's awesome. I get 2 damage up on all allies every battle. Let's go straight. Grab you, and you. And then we'll just do that.
파우스트가 나설 만한 곳이어야 할 겁니다.
Ooh. Oh, this looks like the sheep. What's going on with them? Good. It appears that I can censor these with my own will, at least to a degree. Your mission here is to classify my distortion, reach the end of this dungeon of the fathoms, and bring me back. Your mission, however, does not involve digging into my past. It appears that we have a passing familiarity with this place. You, us. What is it that they seek to convey? I don't believe any level of proper communication will be feasible, given that you are in a dungeon of the fathoms. Well then, do something about it. I regret to tell you that in the setting of this dungeon is out of my hands. Had it been up to me, I would have manifested a place that was much more fascinating than this, like that library fabled to have every book in existence. Oh my god. Reference their second game of Library of Ruina. You used to work for the Lobotomy Corporation? One of my past careers, yes. Us. Diplomacy did not seem to be an option here. The censored people brandished their weapons, threatening, and stood in our path. Looks like we're going to have to take them down if we want to make any progress here. It can't be helped. Let's get ready for a fight. Ooh, their faces. The glitchy faces are a really cool effect, but it's a little freaky. Dang, 4 out of 4 heads. Each of those coins had a 50% chance to flip heads. That's pretty good. Alright, so we still have the 3 lusts, so head game strong. Hello, Leon. Welcome, man. And thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. Yeah. No, you're the nerd. I'm happy to see a lot of my friends in chat tonight. Puts a smile on my face. Guess we'll just keep going middle. We came across a group of researchers passionately poring over various documents. Me. that's literally me, Beaven and Arachnid. They're having a debate about 2 subjects, emotions and flame. Regular flames don't seem to hurt the abnormalities very much. Why does this work, I wonder? Was that them just explaining why burn sucks in this game? Perhaps a greater degree of wrathful emotions opens up the room for the fire's heat to touch abnormalities and distortions, both entities of the unknown. They must have noticed us listening in on their conversation intently. One of them approaches us with a glint in their eyes. Are you the sample who's agreed to this experiment? If so, try this on. In the researcher's hands, it was what looked like an ignition plug or a testing machine of sorts. I say I need a burn heal. I don't really, I mean, I guess I have some burn from, Yisang. Sure. $95% chance to not mess this up. Oh, what an interesting reaction. Decent synchronization weird as well. Maybe the researcher liked what they saw. After scribbling their observations into various papers, the researcher let Yisang go. Yisang took off the gear and presented it before the researcher to return it, but they simply shook their head in response. The gear seems to fit you perfectly. Take it with you. Reignition plug. Selected identity healed for 30 HP and SP. That's pretty good. Base attack skills that inflict burn count, deal 20% more damage, and inflict +1 more burn count. This is crazy. On a hit with these skills against enemies with burn or unique burn, inflict 1 defense level down. And entities whose all base attack skills inflict burn, potency count, or unique burn at turn start gain offense level up. Does that work for him? I hope that works for him because all of his abilities deal burn, but I know that they said that they're all technically bleed abilities in like a update. So how do we know this guy's actually distorted? He doesn't sound any different from his usual self. Well, that's because his usual self's crazy. The sanity degradation due to distortion effects affects every subject differently. I mean, yeah, but censoring his own fathoms? But, Hohenheim, you're in a dungeon of the fathoms. We will see through it with Dante's powers, whether you want to show us or not. You make a fair assessment. How about this then? If you are to see them anyway, allow me to save you the trouble and give you a quick rundown instead. Come visit me as soon as you finish watching my tale. This tale began when that man walked into my laboratory. I almost said laboratory like Dexter. Yes, I had a personal laboratory all to myself. One of the few perks of being an elite researcher. This guy's just telling the story however he wants to, isn't he? I'm Mr. Hohenheim. Let me think. I don't quite remember what he looked like. Something like this, perhaps. That didn't help me. Whichever is the case, I was planning to censor his appearance anyway. Hey, I wanted to talk to you about something. Stop. Are you here to express your displeasure in me? The what now? If you are, do let me know from the get-go. I had a feeling it was about time this would happen. 3 months. Not a bad record for working without a workplace conflict. Oh, if this is about quitting, then you will find a much better audience amongst the human resources team. No, I mean, I'm just here to thank you for picking me, some dude from the back streets, to work here. I heard it was you who made the hiring decision. Wait, Heathcliff's from the back streets. That's why he made Heathcliff his assistant. It's gotta be. It's absolutely gotta be. I don't know how to put this, but you're the only one who saw my, what's the word? Yeah, my potentiality. You saw something that no one's cared to look into before. Know what I mean? But had nothing to do with something so grandiose like his potentiality. Still deciding because I have 400 Faust shard that and can't decide if I should buy her blade lineage. She's the only missing person left, or the LCE ID for burn. The only burn ID I do not have is Lurodia. So I would probably buy the Faust, the burn Faust, just because the blade lineage season is open, and once this season ends, if you don't get the burn Faust before the end of the season, you're gonna be locked out of it for a few months. So, but if you really like the blade lineage stuff and you think you can get enough boxes by the end of the season, I'd say go for the blade lineage, and then you can grab the Faust later on. I'm probably gonna buy her tomorrow because I have so many boxes. A wing does not hire people from the back streets for something so insignificant. Also, welcome in, Char Char. How's it going? While this information has never been publicly available, Lobotomy Corporation's primary criterion was trauma. Candidates with horrible, insurmountable trauma were often favored by the company. And in an indirect way, it was only natural that they would begin to favor candidates who originate from the back streets. Your greetings are acknowledged, Jimmy. Jimmy? We have a name. It's Jimmy Neutron. Now feel free to leave my office. I ain't Jimmy. Oh, okay, never mind. It's not Jimmy. Anyways, I've been meaning to ask Mr. Hohenheim. It's you, Arachnid. It's you. Leon. Why do you always enjoy being alone? It may come as a surprise to you, but I am very adept at spending my time all on my own. It is one of the hundreds of distinguishing features that set me apart from ordinary man. Say, don't you need someone to be like your loyal right-hand man? My right hand is doing just fine, thank you very much. Do you believe in potentialities, Hohenheim? What an unrelentingly stubborn employee he was, even in hindsight. That sure does sound like a Arachnid. He is quite stubborn. Love that guy. Thanks to you, I do. And I've been thinking, if I keep at it, one day I might even find myself living it in a large in a nest, changing the world title little by little. No. Kind of like how a thing like me managed to snag a position here at Lobotomy Corporation. So I'm thinking here that I want to stick around in your circle. To bring about such drastic changes to one's life is in the realm of feasibility for an exceptional researcher like myself. Indeed, but you are, like most of the rabble, painfully average in most qualities, and therefore unlikely to be the moving force in that change. The painfully average reminded me of the how are you so efficiently mediocre? Yeah. For backstory, one of our friends told Arachnid that what do you say? The exact quote was, "How are you so efficiently mediocre?" And that's quite the quite the funny insult. I have no faith in universal things like potentialities. I have faith in myself and myself alone. Besides, I am not very partial to mathematical statistics like the probability theory anyway. We do love Pete. So I would like to keep both my right and left hands at my own. Have a nice day. Want to know something about me? I'm the kind of guy who doesn't really think about things. Action before deliberation, you get me? Thoughtless and carefree. Possibly the only merit to be found in those who originate from the back streets. Or was that a thinly veiled threat of physical assault? No, I'm talking about the new Abno that just got shipped here. It's a tricky one to manage, I'll tell you what. It reads your mind, screwing up all kinds of strategies or whatever, as long as it's based on hard logic. Want to shoot for the Department of the Year award together? You seem to be rather skilled in the art of transactions. One of the few merits found in those who originate from the backstreets. I will admit, I suppose I was overcome by a certain ennui back then. I just recently learned that that's like an actual word. And in hindsight, it was foolish of me to engage in such inane conversations. You let us, the remnants of my past, come to haunt us. Perhaps it is I whom they truly wish to hurt. Oh yeah, all of my sanity is good. I can probably just win rate most of the dungeon now.
괜찮은 공격이네요. 앞으로도 그렇게만 해주세요.
합격장.
따갑지 않다. 저대로 돌려보낼 생각은 아니시죠?
Oh yeah.
확실히 처리해야 합니다.
Easy peasy.
더 먹어. 내 죄는 이제야 실력을 좀 주세요. 평소에도 이러면 얼마나 좋습니까? 꿰뚫려라. 랜덤 프레스 선택이었어 나리. 저의 약점이 뻔히 보이는 게로군. 약점을 잘 노리셨습니다. 너희의 목 이제 해결사의 승리로 이끌 떨거네요. 잘라낸다. 아류탄 초평을 육사 따뜻한 쏟아내.
It's finally here, the Department of the Year award. Indeed, I have finally done it. With some minor assistance from you and of course, and some other employees. Come on, admit it. Don't you notice that a lot more employees are saying hello, good morning, and what have you to you in the hallways compared to when your reputation was a bit, you know. It's all because I'm just that good of a right-hand man. I like this guy a lot. I will admit that your intuitive and spontaneous eye was of some assistance when it came to identifying certain observations among abnormalities. This is the potentiality I was talking about, man. Dude, he's just trying to support him. The same thing you saw in me when you decided to get me on board. Apologies for ruining the moment, but the next few years quickly and busily flew by without much trouble. Of course, we picked up ourselves a few more Department of the Year awards, some promotions, and some collaborative researches. Yet all things must come to an end. The infamous fall of Lobotomy Corporation, for one. You f***ed us. So I don't suppose you have any trouble hazarding when they're all telling me, even as words come out fragmented. You left us. Nothing but words of endless resentment. You left us behind. The fall of the former L Corp. I remember what Miss Yuri told us. Oh, don't bring up Yuri. Yuri was the first, character that hit me hard. The site crumbled in an instant, trapping the employees in there with the abnormalities. What is this sound? The whole structure is quaking. What the hell is... Initiating site burial in 100 seconds. Any remaining employees must immediately evacuate the structure. Counting down. 95, 94. The escape pods to the surface are here, but there's only one seat left. They're saying that the next one's in 5 minutes. I listen closely. At the risk of sounding rather callous, I must inform you that the chance of survival in cases of crises such as this is usually granted only to a very small minority of those affected. Some, who prioritize the fairness of the process, may settle on primitive methods such as drawing lots to see who gets to escape. and in more barbaric groups, the survivor would be decided by none other than the rule of might. However, I am glad to find myself among those who are on the side of intelligence, so I make this argument a suggestion for you. Compare yourselves, whose sole final purpose in life is clinging to your mediocre office jobs and making good on your debt payments, and me, who has produced several groundbreaking epochal theses. Epochal? Anyways, theses and research results at such an early age, whose life in your eyes is of greater worth. Yes, and that is how this tale ends. The compound collapsed 90 seconds later. I left the employees of my department behind and boarded the escape pod elevator and survived. He literally was just like, "Hey, I'm better than you guys. I'm leaving. You guys aren't worth as much as I am." And this guy's awful. How could you, without even a hint of remorse? Wrath is a hideous emotion. I am here today only because I have always maintained a cold, rational head. The Elcor branch within Hohenheim's Dungeon of the Fathoms begins to crumble. It almost appeared as though his heart was crumbling as well. Well, now that's over with. I invite you to come face me, the distortion, and the experiment will come to an end. But just finding and defeating his distortion in a fight, I don't think that'll bring him back. I just know it. I hope it doesn't bring him back. This guy's awful. This guy's just, he doesn't care about anybody else other than himself. I agree. We're still in deep waters here. This can't possibly be all there is to it. Should I go down or up? Down? All right. I don't know. You get an ego gift from either. I just don't know which has what, so I figured I'd ask. We see the Fey Lantern within the containment unit. That's this thing. Cyan-hued fairy fluttered towards the wiry, ancient branches of the tree and softly lands on one of them. The branch seated the fairy sways, as though to entice us to get closer to them. Bright, countless yellow eyes glimmer from the shadows beneath its roots. What a beautiful specimen, this Fey Lantern. Have you finished your observations? We've been learning a lot about the abnormality recently. There's still a lot of unknowns, but still. Speaking of which, here's a pop quiz. What ego gift can you get from the Fey Lantern? I think it's Midwinter Nightmare. Right on the money. Yeah! But that's not all. Recently, it's been giving out these things too. Take this with you. I'm just glad to have run into a kindred soul. You receive a bony twig. It seems to have come directly from the Fey Lantern itself. Oh, this is what you were talking to me about the other day with the twigs. I haven't seen this one before. Every time a rupture activates 3 times on enemies with rupture due to getting hit by allies' attack skills, including eco gifts that inflict rupture potency count, inflict 2 offense level down on the SID enemy next turn, unkill with a base attack skill that inflicts rupture count, inflicting the remaining rupture count on the defeated. Okay. I don't think I'm going to get a ton of value out of that, but I know that Rodian and Gregor both do a little bit of rupture.
불로 정화하고 깨끗한 세계를 세우라.
어떤 상황이 닥쳐도
Guys,
포기하지 마세나. 저들의 공격은 우리의
it's the
표지를 깨뜨릴
worms.
수 없을 테니.
I'm gonna have to make more of these now. God, this is such a stupid bit. I guess he's like on all fours, so. Yeah. So dumb. It is really funny. I know not everybody's gonna laugh at it, but at least I'm making myself laugh, and that's all that matters to me.
떨거지는 잘라낸다.
We'll add them to the kill count.
꿰뚫려라. 본인이 방금 뭘 본 것인가? 엄청나게 강한 일격을.
Ouchies. Ouchies, ouchies. I'm getting snipped. I counter. Ouch.
방금 전에 위대한 일격을 기록하는 중이라네. 이따가 버스에서
Did I kill any of them? Oh, I killed one of the worms. Into the death count. Nobody can see anything. Should probably make these a little bit smaller so you can see the actual game. You know, I'll put them off to the side and I'll just reenact what's happening.
죄인인가?
Flowers. Oh, that was an AoE. I can't do AoEs with this.
평소에도 이러면 얼마나 좋습니까?
Buff worm. Still the buff worm. Oh, he's done for.
선택이었어, 나리. 저들의 약점이
Throw him up there in the.
괜찮은 공격이네요. 앞으로도 그렇게만 해주세요.
All right. Oops. Add him to the graveyard. Wait, not that. Risky encounter, normal encounter. I think I'm gonna go with the risky encounter because I feel like it'll give me more things.
라만 사렌들을 뒤엎는다.
Oh,
동료들이여, 자세를 갖추고 저들을 맞이하세. 우리를 가로막는 저 시련을 해치우고 끝나지 않는.
we get another King Jelly. It's so stupid. Alright, so Ryoshu, Clash of that. Gregor, Clash of that. Why is everything so fast? I don't appreciate that. Oh, these are gonna be a problem. These are gonna be a big problem.
대가리 딱 떼고.
Uh-oh. The thing is, like, defense is crazy good. Hit the pyramid. Kill the pyramid. Graffiti the pyramid. Take out King Jelly, please. I think that one's gonna be the problem. The pyramid can kind of just like sit there. I'm fine with that. But I know that the other one explodes. And I don't want to... I don't want it to be alive for when that happens. You have something? Oh, you can use a lot of things. I think I'm just gonna do this so I can save some resources. Also put fragile on it. Kill the pyramid. Oh, that's okay. That shouldn't hurt too bad. Yeah, it's fine. Get King Jelly. I hate that as on breaking coins. Oh, that's an AoE. That'll hit both of them. Sweet. Ouchies. God, that thing has so much, like, such high defense. It's very annoying. What is this neutral on? That? You can go there. Have you go here. Kill the pyramid. Send Tutankhamun back. I was gonna do a Portuguese man o' war for this image, but King Jelly is infinitely funnier than that. Bam. Stab him! Kill him! Chisel that rock! Oh, I think it's dead. Sweet. Okay, so I just need to focus on King Jelly now. We get... The other pyramid is dead. Okay, so... That needs to be clashed with, that needs to clash with. I could probably offset this with somebody. We'll offset it with this. I'm fine with using Ego there. That'll clash fine.
점 찍었네.
My biggest adversary, King Jelly. Take that. Yeah. Okay, this should be dead next turn. Oh, maybe staggered this turn too. Oh, lived on 2 HP? Come on! Look at the health bar, it's at 2! At 2 HP! Alright. Perish. Alright. King Jelly is no more. Alright, so I have to go to this one. At the end of this hallway, a group of researchers is having a discussion in front of an unnaturally dark place. Noticing our presence, their faces brighten up as they approach us. Please, will you investigate this area ahead for us? We will be able to. We will help with the best of our ability should you accept. Oh, this heals all allies too? Yeah, we'll do that. Proceed. Gregor has never failed me before. My man! I love to see some proper enthusiasm. Yes, I like your attitude. Take this with you. It'll help with your investigations. After handing us the gear, the researchers walked up to the sinners and began examining them. Once they were finished, the sinners were all in tip-top shape again. All allies back. Oh, wow, allies. All allies healed back up to full HP. Regular operational gear. What does that do? Limbus Company identities. Skill 2 gains offense level +1 and plus 15% more damage. Skill 3 gains offense level +2 and deals 30% more damage. There are 4+ Limbus Company identities among the backup units. 2 random allies gain offense level at the start. I'm not using any of the Limbus Company units. Alright, going into the final battle. We arrived at the entrance to Hohenheim's laboratory. DD, get out of my laboratory! This may be my final order to you. Either suppress me and return safe and sound to where you came from, or fail the suppression, place me in a containment unit, and perhaps we can observe what happens next. That's when Heathcliff suddenly strode forward. Hohenheim, do you still believe in that potentiality? I do. So it keeps me going. You only hire researchers from the back streets, don't you? I heard from him earlier. He told me that you're a right pompous bloke, but thanks to you, they can continue to research and believe that there might be things in the world that's worth working towards.
두려움을 모르는 건 나쁘지 않습니다만 더 무식하게 돌격하실 거라면 전 빠지겠습니다.
I don't like him. Okay, I was expecting like all of these to be unbreakable coins. Favored, that should be fine. That should be fine as well. Just don't flip tails on any of those, please. I'll ask nicely.
합격장.
I told you not to flip tails on any of them. My man Gregor coming in.
자, 동료들이여, 자세를 갖추고
Uh-oh.
저들을 맞이하세. 우리를 가로막는 저 시련을 해치우고 끝나지 않는
This unit has a shield +2 poise count as well. Okay, so what I'm not hitting him with. I need to offset those. I don't think it works like that, no. That should be fine. Let's going towards Otis. That's going towards... Okay. I can do that. Offset that. And then... Where's that going at? I can have you do that. Offset that. And hopefully he doesn't get those bonuses on him. Kind of want to throw just something on here. Oh, I don't want to go through all of my gluttony though. That sucks. I guess I'll use this.
잘라낸다. 꿰뚫려라.
Ooh, oh, I didn't like that.
이봐, 버틸 자신 있어?
나의 해안은 정말 감동적이지 않을 수 없네.
Okay, so
이런 구절이 있었지. 어디 보자.
he probably gains it no matter what. Alright, let's do that first. And I'll do a regular one. We'll do a big skull buster later. And okay, offset all three.
어떤 상황이 닥쳐와도
Okay, I was expecting that to be unclashable. Oh, it's it's unbreakable coin. Guarantee crit. Okay, he did take HP last turn, so we're good.
점 찍었네.
다류산 투평열 80 갈라지도록.
해야 할 고통.
Okay, as an AoE, that's fine.
으타! 먹어 치워라. 기대라. 약점을 잘 노리셨습니다. 이제
What plagues your minds, manager? Your suppression efforts seem to be smooth sailing. It is exactly as you've seen, manager. Save for a few parts that were censored, I concealed nothing from your view. I don't believe I have committed any wrong by escaping that place alone, leaving the others to be buried there. Ah, of course. It may be reprehensible from a moral standpoint, but why would I ever look at it from that perspective, manager? Especially when you are all well aware that in this city, such a perspective is entirely irrelevant and worthless. I can feel his gaze on me. Like he said, the suppression is going well, but this feels wrong, and it shouldn't end like this. What should I tell him? What is Hohenheim trying to hide from us? I think I'll be fine on the SP stuff. The shield passive is really annoying. House relays my words to Hohenheim. Running away? An interesting point. But allow me to retort. My choice was not to run away, but to deny and evade, and what has happened is too pathological a choice, isn't it? I am very well aware that the only way to solve a problem is to face it head on, which is another aspect of myself that sets me apart from the common man. Come on, man. When an issue arises, or in very rare cases where I find myself in a tumult or of emotional nature, I first attempt to establish a logical explanation. I reconstruct what was perceived and regulate my emotions. Expressing fury and anger is a plain waste of resources. I must admit one thing. Now that I have conducted some level of cold introspection, I will admit that it wasn't entirely mature of me to censor so much of my fathoms. Of course, this does not mean that I will now remove the censored memories. My ego is not so feeble as to be shaken by a few words. I didn't really understand most of what Hohenheim was talking about, but hit him with the TLDR. Too long, didn't read. I can't shake this thought that everything he's been saying was just an effort to distance himself from his own emotions. Yeah, it makes sense. Alright, weakens the shielding passive. Cool. This is going towards Gregor. Gregor will offset that. And somebody needs to smack this. Can Don hit anything in here? No. I might just let that go. His shield will be gone by the time I get to that, so I think it'll be okay. You need to do something though. Let's give him a present. It also heals some of the SP that he's been draining. Or ramping up the blood feast. Yeah, he's barely taking any SP from us, so I'd rather take the shielding passive away from him. Both those are going at Gregor. It'll be okay. I do that. Ooh, maybe not. Let's do that. Wait. I love this ego. Hit him with the teddy bear. Hopeless? What do you mean? How's that hopeless? She rolls a 15, he rolls a 12. Final power +1 for every 5 poise potency on self. Which would be another 3. Right? I feel like that is incorrect. But she's at 45 SP. That'll flip a 15 easily. I'm gonna let it ride. It's a teddy bear! Get him, Teddy. Oof. Oh yeah, serious Skullbuster? Hit him hard, hit him hard. Oh yeah, big damage. Yeah, see, that's not hopeless. Get staggered. Oh, this guy's done for.
저들의 약점이 뻔히 보이는 게로군.
죄인인가?
꿰뚫려라.
Send him off. Or not. Oh, wait, okay, never mind. I thought I was about to say, is there a phase 2? That wasn't that bad. My friends are making that out to be, like, pretty hard. The escape pods of the escape pods to the surface are here, but there's only one seat left. They're saying that the next one's in 5 minutes. You're suffering in that fight? That's crazy. Look, I don't actually... Oh, we actually get to see him. Look, I don't actually believe you hired me because you saw my potential or something like that. But I want to believe that you found the hope and potentialities because of me. Are you running sinking in it? Bleed is pretty good. I think what happens is it's not bleed that's really good. It's the self-healing that a lot of the bleed units have. Because Gregor heals himself. I think Rodian heals herself a little bit. Poise. I think you might be better off doing sinking because he has a sanity bar. A hope of anticipation that we can make things better as long as we keep at it. I can't leave you all behind. I can't save my skin not without everyone. Oh, they're making me feel bad for him. This is what a right-hand man does, isn't it? Take my potentiality you found and rise. Take it with you to the surface. But you, Johann, we have a name. We have a name. What about you? Well, maybe next time's some other time. Wrath is a hideous emotion. That is why I did nothing at the entrance of that branch. Only remembering nothing more. Remembering the ones I've left behind. I can sense the dungeon of the Fathom slowly beginning to close. Sometime later. He's back to normal. Ah, I've returned, safe and sound. Welcome back, boss. To be frank, I once wished to be someone like yourself, Heathcliff. What are you talking about? We don't want Heathcliff to be like Heathcliff. Because it's not easy to put my faith not in games of numbers, but in those slimmest potentialities of the world and continue to exist. I know it's not very befitting of a researcher to be so, but it is quite the romantic attitude for a human to embody, is it not? Well, the experiment is over. It was a huge success, thanks to us, right? No, it was a failure. I had established this hypothesis that the sole answer was to hold a firm belief in the self and nothing else. Had my hypothesis been correct, I would have remained a distortion. Thus, I would like to extend my gratitude to all of you. Thank you for making me fail. It seems that the classification for my distortion was HE-5-SU. Disappointingly mediocre. But I suppose it can. I suppose it can be helped. But I don't suppose it can be helped. I was like, shouldn't I be can't? The world is a place where we must find the ray of potentiality among the mediocre, after all. Let us move on now. Mephistopheles is prepared to depart. Hohenheim's researchers waved at us. We'll meet again, right? Ew, no thank you. Mr. Nips, that's your girl right there. Everything has an end, so do consider it to be our final meeting. Down to the last exchange, this guy. The last thing we saw before the portal activated were the LCE researchers pushing up their glasses in our general direction. Though I'd only taken a step or two, the entire world around us seemed to transform, landing us back inside the transportation instrument. Now that I think about it, we didn't even get to learn why Gregor's bones made those cracking noises. 'Cause he's turning into a bug! All we learned from this experience was that the sinners have all become mediocre, but they each held certain potentialities within themselves. Each of us mulling over the events at the LCE, we returned to the bus where Karen and Virgilius were waiting for us. Don is too good. Don is too good, guys.
그러니 가릴 것 없이 마음껏 마셔. 그게 우리가 이룰 수 있는 유일한 꿈이니까.
That's a lot. What can I get from the shop? Probably save up for the effects first and then grab everything else afterwards. But I assume okay, so that gives 80. Maybe mirror dungeons give a bit. I still have a couple extras to do, right? Yeah, I didn't finish that one. That one I did. That one I did. Yeah, I had a problem with this one in last stream, so where Sancho died immediately. She lost one clash and it was Jover. Let's see. Is there anything else I can really do at the moment? Or my I was planning on going for like 2 hours, but I might end a couple minutes early just to because I finished what I wanted to do. Next stream would be probably stream Thursday, and I'll stream my my mirror dungeon for the week. Maybe do a little bit of farming for the event. But who is streaming right now that I can raid? Let's see. I think we're going to raid Spicy Skelly. He's an artist and he is pretty cool. So thank you all for tuning in. I had a blast. Thank you all for chatting it up with me. Thank you everybody for the follows, the raids. I really appreciate all the support. And then we'll go over and say hello to Spicy. Let me turn. Gotta have some outro music. All right. Join me with this raid, shall we?
Music, art. Okay, so the only art that we got.
Oh! Raiders! Oh my god! Oh my god, Raiders! Hello.
do it time. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Oh my goodness gracious, Mr. NYPZ. Not sure how to pronounce that, but thank you so much for the follow. Hello, Raiders. Welcome on in. My name is Spicy Skelly.